A Central Kentucky man was fortunate enough to get to spend some time with Kobe Bryant.
That's right. Professional photographer Andrew Ford didn't have necessarily a personal relationship, but more of like a working relationship. We appreciate you being on with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Just give us a little bit of what it is that you did at that was this camp, correct?
Yeah, he ran a basketball camp every summer for several years, and I was fortunate to coach there for 6 consecutive years. So I operated in the capacity of coaching. I usually had 10 to 12-year-olds, but one thing about Kobe is if he put his name on it, he was involved. We usually had about 700 to 800 kids from all over the world, and he was there and involved every day. Every camper, every coach, every intern, every staff member got to meet him, and he loved the kids and he loved to give back. He wasn't afraid if he was passing by and saw a coach not coaching the triangle offense, which is an NBA offense, the way that he wanted it done to 8-year-olds. He'd jump right in and correct you. But just the same, if he saw a suggestion or something that, hey, if you do it this way, something you'll get a different outcome, and usually it worked. I mean, his IQ was off the chart, but he was definitely a different person off the court as far as giving back and wanting to be involved than the intensity that you usually saw during the game.
We're looking at some of the photos that you took from that camp, and this was, you're talking about him being there every day, giving 110% of that camp. But this was also when he was in the middle of his NBA playing seasons.
Yeah. 1 year was his last Olympic year, and he would still be involved every morning for the entire camp, every evening for the entire camp. During the day, he'd float around, but he was also doing his Olympic training. Another year was the year that he blew out his Achilles, and he was rehabbing from that, but he was still there every day.
Wow.
And it was, he didn't have to do things like that at his level, but that's just part of it. If his name was on it, he was intent about it, and he would make sure and see it through.
Sure. It seems like you paint a picture of hard work from a man like that. Well, what are some other experiences or maybe memories that you had from that time?
You have a lot of stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun ones, and one thing about him, he was so competitive about everything. And you'd have a 1 year, I think the kid was like 13 or 14, and he just in passing challenged Kobe to one-on-one. And everybody's, well, that night at camp, and the full, Kobe calls the kid out in front of everybody. Of course, you got parents, you got media, everything, and he just blasts him. And he's just like, don't challenge me. And it's like,
you're not going to win.
Yeah, and I mean, he obviously gave him a hug, gave him a high five, and of course, it was the thrill of a life for that kid. But it's just like, it didn't matter what it was. I mean, he would, if you challenged him, you better be ready to back it up. And he may beat you pretty bad, but he'd laugh about it. But it was just, like I said, I just go back to, he didn't have to be there all day, every day in giving back. And, he had kids, and they would do scholarships and things for kids from the LA community, but also all around the world. I mean, I remember 1 year on my team, I had 6 different languages spoken. And it was just the global impact, and then just the other things that you really can't focus on too much as far as media-wise, but just all the people that he brought together through his craft. And even with the camp, I've got lasting relationships with fellow coaches and staff members that I never would have met had he not decided to put something like that together. And it just, the stories can go on and on about his impact and what he gave, and especially after his retirement, what he was doing with basketball, but also his other ventures and just, his family and everything else. It just, people started to really see, the other side of the curtain, because he was so focused, during the basketball years. It's like, if you're not with me, get out of my way, because I've got things to do. And that's just the way he was and what I was able to observe in my years there.
That's what makes it so heartbreaking, too, is just getting started in this new chapter in his life.
Yeah, and for his family and the other people that were on the helicopter, I mean, you can't lose sight of how many other lives and families and just the heartache and just how it's just going to continue to trickle down for so many families.
Absolutely. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you all.
Appreciate your time.